Looking to get involved in investing in the blockchain, but are worried about the volatility and uncertainty of the crypto markets? Then I've got some good news for you. Hey everybody, and welcome back to our latest edition of ICO or No. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to go over Brickblock ICO, a platform that is trying to make it as easy as possible to invest in the crypto markets through the use of the Ethereum blockchain and its underlying network of smart contracts. As always, we're going to go over the 4 questions we use to evaluate every single ICO we review. So let's start with our first question. What is the Brickblock project and what problem is it trying to solve? Both novice and experienced investors have become very intrigued by the crypto markets, yet many are not willing to take the leap for several reasons. The recent volatility displayed by these markets and lack of general access has made investing through the blockchain more of a difficult sell. Navigating traditional markets is near impossible unless you've been taught exactly how to use certain platforms. This makes it very difficult for the average individual to invest and maintain their own portfolio, having to turn to licensed middlemen who, of course, are going to take their cut. Brickblock bills itself as the first blockchain-based platform where users can seamlessly invest in real estate funds, exchange-traded funds, passive coin-traded funds, and active coin-managed funds through a streamlined process with significantly lower costs than traditional investment. How do they plan to do this? By incorporating blockchain technology and introducing proof of asset tokens, they hope to make trading activities more efficient by cutting out third parties, all while expediting the trading process. Each fund will have its own corresponding proof of asset token, which allows investors to hedge the risk of cryptocurrencies in real assets without needing to convert their cryptocurrency into a fiat currency. To ensure the safety of the underlying assets represented by the proof of asset token, a digital trust fund holds the exact same amount of fund shares as tokens issued. So there is something of actual value backing up the currency. Clearly, licensing and verifying identity is very important for Brickblock to do, as they are required to know who they are doing business with based off anti-money laundering laws. Brickblock has outlined a process they will use to verify those posting assets and funds. Broker-dealers and fund managers will be able to list their investment opportunities onto the platform after they've been thoroughly verified by Brickblock through proof of residence, credit reports, and background checks. Now that we know a little bit about the Brickblock project, let's move on to our second question. What are the market conditions facing the project? ETFs have gained popularity over the years as technology has progressed. The investment giants on Wall Street have taken the opportunity to margin trade using program bots, making it much tougher for the little guy to compete on these ETFs. So much of the investment market is centralized in these big firms, and despite several missteps and a recession, people have still trusted these investment giants. My theory is it's because people realize they need to invest for their futures, and they feel like they have nowhere to go but these existing giants. I've actually seen some apps come up recently that are targeted towards millennials that are specifically trying to make investing easier and more accessible. The desire is clearly there, as many young people want to gain control of their own finances. Brickblock is entering this market at the right time, as many have become increasingly more angry with big banks and investment firms. There are some specific issues with how investments are made that Brickblock is trying to capitalize upon. The first is the very high volatility that has been displayed in the crypto markets. All of this adds up to risk, and that's something that investors are always looking to mitigate. Brickblock points out that money has 3 important properties. Currently, cryptocurrencies are primarily used as a store of value. The use of cryptocurrencies as a medium of exchange and a unit of accounting, that's still in a very early stage. This means that there are limited options to escape the volatility of these markets. At the present, the only real way out is to reconvert your tokens into a fiat currency. Proof of asset tokens are set to change all of that because they are backed by things of actual value. Another huge issue is something called counterparty risk. The key thing to remember when you're learning about counterparty risk is that traditional investment transactions actually don't get processed or cleared immediately. It's actually a 3-day process. First day the deal is made, the next day it's sent to the clearinghouse, and on the 3rd day, settlement finally occurs. Obviously, most investors don't just make one trade, wait 3 days for it to clear, and then resume their trading activities. It's completely untenable. So people don't wait for existing trades to clear before they make their ensuing moves based off of their first trade. See the issue? If someone makes a deal that they don't have enough money to cover, they default and the trade doesn't go through. Of course, this might affect all trades made after that first trade that defaulted, as some might not have the sufficient funds to be executed. This triggers a domino effect that can nullify pending trades, screwing up things for everybody. Brickblock hopes to solve this problem by using the blockchain to clear trades instantly. Now that we know a little bit about the market conditions facing the project, let's move on to question number 3. Who is behind the Brickblock ICO? And this is a very good question because looking through their webpage and white paper, there really isn't any listing of their team. Normally on either of those two, webpage or white paper, there's a little About Us section, meet the team, who's behind the project, because you're investing a lot of money in these projects. So I find it a little bit disheartening that the names aren't just out there up front. It's not a huge red flag for me. It's definitely something to think about though. I definitely want someone who I'm investing in to be proud of the project and put their name out there so they could reap the successes if it's successful, or if it goes south, well, then we know who to blame. Now that we know all about the Brickblock project, let's move on to our fourth and final question. What is the design of the Brickblock ICO? The Brickblock token sale will start on October 11th. However, you must be whitelisted in order to participate in the token sale. All this means is that you have to go and pre-register on their website. I'm seeing this requirement more and more for ICOs as more and more countries are exploring ICOs as securities and that classification. I think that's pretty much going to be the new normal. The crowd sale accepts Bitcoin or Ether and has already set a conversion rate for how the tokens will be distributed. For example, at the start, if you get in on week 1 Ether equals 800 proof of asset tokens. And for each week, the number of tokens for that exchange rate goes down by 25. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave us a like and also subscribe so you don't miss out on any future ICOs or nodes. If you have any comments or questions about the project, leave those down below and we'd be happy to give you our best answer. This has been Jeremy with Blockchain WTF, and we'll see you next time.